What's going on, everybody? Week 4 has commended. It is over. Very fun week. We had a really close matchup on the board. Some of them were kind of over by the weekend, but we did have one that came down right to the wire. It was exciting to kind of see that. Big week around the league. We had multiple trades, all 3 of which involved Saskatchewan. They were making moves left and right, trying to build their team into what they want to see in the future. It was cool. I like that. It keeps it fresh. I know in a dynasty league, you're not going to have as many trades as a redraft league. But it was fun. It keeps it fresh, keeps people engaged, and that's all you can really ask for. So kind of recap week 4, what happened around the league. The Brazilian Tree Frogs, that would be my team, fell to 0-4. I promise I'm trying to win. I promise this is not a tank. This is a basketball team that's missing their best player in Ja Morant for a few more weeks, and a basketball team that's just struggling. Hoping to kind of gain some ground. It's going to be tough the next couple of weeks to get a win, but we're going to try. We lost to Prestige Worldwide this week by a wide margin, 55-point win for Prestige. Not really a surprise there. Cuckolders defeated the Calvertsville Flamers by 41.5, 345.5 to 304. That was a good game. I thought the Cuckolders the Calvertsville Flamers kind of held their own. They scored over 300 points, not much more you can ask for. Selma defeated Saskatchewan 318 to 277.5. Big week for Saskatchewan, like I said, in the trade market. So pieces were flying around everywhere for them. They look to regroup this week, try to get a win coming up. The International Pussycats continue to run. This team has shocked me. Ranked them 10 coming into the year. Thought, to be as blunt as I can be, I didn't think they drafted well, and obviously they have. So 355 they put up this week. That was good enough for second or third most points in the league. They're dominating. They went against Moscow Muskrats, who put up the least amount of points in the league. I would have beat them this week. Just a bad draw for me. 261 for the Moscow Muskrats. But yeah, the Pussycats continue to run. They just got Anthony Davis. They're making a run at it. They want that playoff spot. Albuquerque DEA wins by 3.5 points. Closest matchup I believe we've had this year yet. Albuquerque defeats the Swish Kebabs 397.5 to 394. My thoughts go out to you, Jacob Carmichael, the owner of the Swish Kebabs. You guys put up a heck of a week, man. 394, that wins you every other matchup like all year. And you lose by 3.5. It's tough to see that. I do feel bad, genuinely, because that's good enough week to win most of the time. So just keep doing what you're doing, obviously, and it's working. Team of the week. This is a huge honor for these guys. First 2 guys up are the point guard and shooting guard position, both Tyrese's in the league. Tyrese Halliburton, 59 points at Philadelphia, going against the shooting guard team of the week player, Tyrese Maxey, who put up 38 against Brooklyn. Small forward of the week, Kevin Durant of Prestige Worldwide, put up 54 points at Utah. And then power forward of the week, Giannis Antetokounmpo, 62.5 versus Dallas. That was a big game. That was one that kind of helped Albuquerque get over the edge there on Swish Kebabs. Cuckolders center Nikola Jokic, 54 points versus the Clippers. Nikola is a mainstay on this team of the week. It's probably going to be shocking when he doesn't make a team of the week. Power rankings going into the week. Prestige Worldwide is number 1. They stay there, undefeated, not even close to touched yet. Just not much you can say. They're playing the best basketball in our league. Albuquerque DEA is number 2. 397.5 is no joke. That's a team that is full of talent. Of course, as soon as I traded them, Brandon Ingram, he puts up a 41 piece, first game on the team. That's a joke. That kind of pissed me off, but that's fine. That's the way life goes. They get the 2 spot. 3 spot goes to the undefeated International Pussycats. Like I said, prove me wrong. Biggest jump from start of the year to now by far. Very impressive to watch. Cuckolders number 4. The Cuckolders, they've dealt with some injuries, and they're starting to get them healthy again, so they're a team that you need to watch out for. Swish Kebabs number 5. Carmichael, like I said, 394 and you lose, like that sucks. I feel bad for you. But you are at least the 5th best team in this league. You're a top 5 team. You are a playoff team if you continue to set your lineup and do it effectively, for sure. You have the team for that. LeBron has been playing amazing for you. I know you love to see that, especially since you're a LeBron hater, because he used to just beat your Celtics every year, dude. Gosh, every year. But he did, and that's okay. Number 6, Selma, Trash Pandas. They are in our 6th spot here. I think Selma's good, obviously. The number 1 overall pick, Luka Doncic, is on that team. He had a bad week last week. They look to bounce back this week, and they easily will. Number 7, Moscow Muskrats. Eminem. Yeah, bad week last week. Hopefully they can kind of bounce back. I do think they're good enough for the 7th spot, but they definitely need to change some things around. 8th spot, Saskatchewan Blue Beavers. Involved in all 3 trades this week, which I'm about to cover. Definitely looking to build for the future. Acquired some draft picks, acquired some young talent. They did a good job this week doing that. 9th spot, Calvertsville Flamers. Wembanyama, Dylan Brooks, the whole 9 yards. We talked about it last week with guest Wyatt Mack. If you haven't watched that one, hit that one. Go watch it. It was a fun talk. And then in the 10th spot, shocker, the Brazilian Tree Frogs. We suck. As the commissioner of this league, I want to put forth a team that wins. I promise you I don't want to be losing right now. It sucks. It actually sucks. I want my best player back. I want the guys that are going to put up the most points, and I don't have that right now. So, yeah, just kind of got to be on the struggle bus for a little bit. I do think we will start winning, though, when we get Ja. So, just got to write it out. Like I said, 3 trades went down, all 3 involving Saskatchewan. Calvertsville traded Jordan Poole. Poole party. A lot of bad talk about Jordan Poole around our league. I feel bad for the guy. I kind of hope he pops off for Saskatchewan. That would be sweet to watch. They traded him to Saskatchewan in exchange for Derek White and 2024 second and third round picks. As of now, obviously, with the turmoil going around about Jordan Poole and his team he's on in the NBA, it does look like Calvertsville might have won this trade. But that could turn around. Jordan Poole's young. He's got a huge career ahead of him. Everything could change pretty quick. Saskatchewan traded Anthony Davis, the Brow, to the Pussycats in exchange for Jaren Jackson Jr. and the 2024 first-round pick and the 2025 first-round pick of the International Pussycats. I asked in the group chat who everybody thought won this trade. I kind of disagree with what the consensus seemed to be. Anthony Davis obviously is a phenomenal talent. I'm obviously not a fan of the Pussycats after the garbage they pulled against us last week. But I think Saskatchewan did fine in this trade. I don't think they lost it. Anthony Davis is an injury-prone big. Nothing will change. He gets hurt about once a month. And Saskatchewan got back a young big in Jaren Jackson Jr., who's going to get his best player back, and it's going to help the flow of that team, I think. And they got 2 first-round picks. Yeah, I don't think they did bad in that trade at all. So I actually tend to disagree with what everybody was kind of saying. The Brazilian Tree Frogs, that's us. We sent Keegan Murray and a 2024 second-round pick to the Saskatchewan Blue Beavers in exchange for sharpshooting wing RJ Barrett. Yeah, Keegan Murray is just a little too inconsistent for me. I wanted somebody like RJ who has a big role on the Knicks. He has the ball in his hands a lot, and yeah, I don't think either one of us really walked away with that trade either. I think it helps us both, and that's the kind of the goal of trades, right? So that's week 4. Week 4 was huge. Teams are starting to kind of get their identity, which I love to see. And yeah, got 2 undefeated teams left, which is impressive. But we won't after this week, and I'm getting into that right now. Week 5 betting board. Matchup of the week. The 2 undefeated teams. One will be standing after week 5. One person will have never lost in Dynasty Fantasy Basketball after this week. The International Pussycats take on Prestige Worldwide. Now I have the International Pussycats here on the betting board presented by PointsBet. Shout out to our sponsor there. 12.5 point underdogs for the Pussycats. I have Prestige Worldwide at minus 12.5, minus 180 favorites, with the International Pussycats getting a plus 150 on the money line. I just think Prestige Worldwide edges them a little bit. I think top to bottom, the talent is just there for Prestige Worldwide. I think they'll prove that this week. And but yeah, the Pussycats are obviously having a great season. It's fun to see that, especially for how underrated they were coming into the year. Next up, Brazilian Tree Frogs take on the Cuckolders. We are going to get dismantled by this team. I'm scared. I have us at 44.5 point underdogs. That's the biggest margin of the year, plus 1,200 money line. So 12 to 1. 12 to 1 is what I've got as a chance of winning. I think if we have a fluke week where all of our guys hit our ceiling, we have a chance. But if his guys hit his ceiling, he might win by 100 points. So I've got him at minus 1,500 on the money line as well. Calvertsville Flamers take on the Swish Kebabs. Swish Kebabs look to avenge that close deficit last week. Minus 300 favorites are the Swish Kebabs at minus 23.5 points. I've got Calvertsville plus 23.5, plus 250. I think there's value on the board there. Calvertsville fights. That's their identity, right? Dylan Brooks. They're ready to muck it up with anybody. I could see them pulling off an upset. I wouldn't be shocked. Saskatchewan Blue Beavers take on the Moscow Muskrats. Battle of the Nicks here. Nick Poe and Nick Helms. We don't get that matchup very often. I've got Blue Beavers at 14.5 point underdogs, plus 170 on the money line. That leaves the Muskrats minus 14.5, minus 200 on the money line. Albuquerque DEA takes on the Selma Trash Pandas. Now, I got the Selma Trash Pandas at plus 29.5. That's a wide margin, right? Albuquerque DEA just almost put up 400 points. That team can go. They have talent, top to bottom, guys who are ready now to win. Minus 400 on the money line there against Selma. Put Selma at plus 350. My lock of the week here, if I were a betting man, which of course this is not financial advice, don't throw your bank account on this. My lock of the week, I'm gonna sound like a hater here, but I would go minus 12.5 with Prestige Worldwide against the International Pussycats. The Pussycats they've scored like 5th most points in the league, I think. And just have had like the least amount scored against them. I'm not saying they got a cupcake schedule. They played us. I don't want to call my team a cupcake. We kind of suck, okay? So I've got Prestige Worldwide minus 12.5 as the lock of the week. Upset of the week, I kind of already talked about it a second ago. On the money line, if we're talking value, Calvertsville Flamers plus 250 over Swish Kebabs. Wyatt Mack finds a way, right? He's like Greg Popovich with the numbers on Sleeper. I think if you're looking for value in a money line, getting 2.5 times your money if they win, that's good value. I think they've got a great chance. That's all I'm gonna say. I think they've got a great chance. Now, I sent last night what we're gonna do with in terms of a fantasy all-star game. It will take place the week before the actual all-star break in the NBA season. Now what's gonna happen there is, if I can find my place again since I closed my book prematurely, AJ, Tad, both Nick Poe and Nick Helms, and myself, we will manage one team. we will have 4 people for each team that we will decide. So I'll decide my 4 guys. So like I would say like Ja, Paulo, let's go Alperen Şengün, somebody else like RJ Barrett or something, right? That's my 4 guys that I'm putting on our conference's all-star team. There's obviously 5 people per conference. That's gonna give us 20. That's a big roster. What I wanna do with that from there is you get your 5 starters and your 5 utility guys. For the first day, you're gonna set that lineup. If you wanna lock in a score that one of those guys makes, we're obviously gonna have to keep this on the side outside of Sleeper. I'll keep all the numbers, right? If you and your 4 other co-managers of this all-star team want to keep a score, so say Paolo goes out 50 pieces on first night of the week, right? We wanna keep that. Paolo's not gonna do that again. It's gonna be hard for us to get other guys to do that again, right? So we want to keep that Paolo 50. That's locked into that lineup spot. We can't change that lineup spot the rest of the week, right? It's like the same thing on Sleeper, but you're co-managing a team with the other 4 guys in your conference. I want a Pacific versus Atlantic matchup. We had some talks last week about how Atlantic was better than Pacific, and Pacific has the 2 guys that are undefeated. That's all I'm going to say. Record matters. Wins matter, right? So that's kind of how that's going to work. Like I said, there is a 3-point contest involved as well, where you and your co-managers, so for example, AJ, Tad, Nick, and me, we will decide 3 guys on our roster to be our 3-point contest participants, and every 3 they make throughout that week will be 1 point. Whichever team has the most points, that conference wins the 3-point contest. Those players involved are 3-point contest champions. We will put that in their player notes to keep accolades throughout the time of this Dynasty League, all the way into the future when we're playing this when we're 45 years old, right? So that's kind of how that's going to work. Accolades are important. There will be no mid-season awards in this league. We will do end-of-season awards only. But yeah, each player that's selected as an all-star player, we'll put that in that player's notes. That's an important accolade. And then when time runs out, like time keeps going. We're 15, 20 years down the league, and the year down in the future, wow. When we're that far down in the future, guys start retiring, they have good accolades, we'll have a Hall of Fame. Like we'll have stuff like that. It's stuff like that that makes this league interesting. I do want to shout out all of you guys, especially if you've made it this far in the video, just for being involved, man. Like you guys are what makes this league go. Like I said when I started this thing, I want this to be a league that people want to get in. I want people to ask and plead and beg for 2 expansion teams at the end of the year so they can have one of the spots. I want people to want to be on a waiting list for this league in case one of the owners drops so they can take over a team, right? That's all I want. I want this league to be awesome. I want to have the best fantasy basketball league in not only like Southern Indiana, but like in a wide area, man. Like I want to have the best fantasy basketball league in the world. That only happens if you guys are involved. That only happens if you guys are active. So to each and every one of you guys that is watching this video, I appreciate you guys. Like I said, this league doesn't go without you guys. Thank you for tuning in weekly. Thank you for wanting to see the previews and the recaps. I appreciate it so much. Seriously, you have no idea. We'll catch you guys on next week's episode. Be thinking about who you want to put on your all-star teams, right? So be thinking about that. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll catch y'all next week. See ya.